What's going on, guys? And welcome back to our first episode of the Lightpole podcast. That's right, welcome back. So, you're probably wondering, why we started this thing. We've been into movies and shows for years now. This group of friends and some other people too. But we have a group chat where whenever a new movie comes out, whenever a new show comes out, some new news about Marvel, DC, stuff like that, we start talking about it. So, the other day during a conversation about Spider-Man, we just threw out the idea, why don't we start a podcast? And then we have an hour where we can just talk about the comics, the movies, the shows, the new stuff that comes out, and we could just ramble about it. So, I'm Darian, and then I'll let everyone else kind of introduce yourself.
Okay, I guess I'll go. So I'm
Well,
Wiley. Yeah. Pretty much everything Darian said. Pretty much what I'm gonna bring to the table to this podcast is I'm more of that type of visual. I love photography, videography, that kind of stuff, artistic. So when we get into discussions of movies and just shows, that's probably the point of view that I'm gonna bring out the most, just so you guys can, look out for that.
Go
I'm
ahead, Kyler.
Kyler. uh, I have nothing really to add to this other than uh, opinions.
I
That's my
mean,
boy.
I'm not very artistic at all.
you're a comics guy. You like comics and
I
all
do
that,
like
yeah.
comics. I'm very much into comics, and Star Wars is probably my
Yep.
my passion.
See.
So anytime we talk about that, I'll definitely have a lot to say. You'll hear my voice a lot.
And he's very bougie because he's drinking some sort of wine out of a
You're not
nice
wrong,
wine
bro.
glass.
It's ginger beer,
No,
Ginger. Oh wow,
very
look at
good.
that.
Oh, I have
Beer
some
out
in
of
the
my glass.
fridge.
Gosling's.
Ginger beer is
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm
Got some for the
Joey.
Oktoberfest.
I'm Joey. I'm the middle child. That should tell you enough. I will be bullied a lot on this podcast, and my opinions will mean nothing to these guys, and that's about it.
If anyone
That was the
watching
most
this
accurate
has
thing I've ever heard in my
ever
life.
if anyone watching or listening to this has ever seen Parks and Recreation, Joey is Terry.
Jerry. Larry.
Larry, Gary,
Gary.
Barry, all of them.
Barry.
I mean, okay, so
That's
yeah,
what I do,
so
right?
like I mentioned, I'm the more artistic. Kyler, he has comics and Star Wars. Joey, you dabble with the DC universe and stuff,
Mhm.
right?
I
I mean,
do. I do.
and then
Yeah.
and
DC,
Darian's kind
Marvel.
of like our movie reviewer kind of guy. He's the one that
He's
really
the connoisseur.
analyzes it. So there we
In
go.
He'll
depth.
actually leave Yelp reviews.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yep.
Have
Rotten Tomatoes,
IMDb's.
IMDb, so that's pretty much our roles going forward.
So I figured for the first couple podcasts, we can do is kind of go over the Mandalorian episodes and then talk about other stuff after that. So the goal is to kind of do it right after the Mandalorian episodes, which we all just watched, episode one of season two, the premiere.
Mm.
And the first thing that I
Wait,
want to
wait,
get
hold
at
on, wait.
was,
Before we get started,
yeah,
let's our channel name, why
do a
we
prayer.
named it that.
Oh.
Yeah.
oh, you're right.
The light pole.
You're
Edit
right.
this
Yeah.
out. Edit this out.
We can, that's what editing's for. Uh, our channel name is the light pole. Now, some of you may be wondering what the heck does that mean? Um, Basically, it's kind of like a unspoken thing in our friend group that anytime we go to the movie theaters, preferably AMC, we always meet up at and park at the same light pole. It's a little farther away. It's a little walk to get to the building, but we've been doing it for years, right? I mean, it's been a
Yeah,
long
Since you
time.
started driving.
At
Yeah,
least 6
pretty
or 7
since we
years.
started driving
Yeah.
our own cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much why we named it the light pole, because it's kind of just our own little friend group thing that's known among us. So yeah, there we go.
And it's like there's
Among
always
Us.
spots there too. Every
I
time we
know
get
no one
there,
ever
there's
parks there. No one ever parks
That's
there.
never
why it
fails.
keeps the car safe.
It's true. All right. Before we start, I just wanted to say, hey guys, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Light Pole. Today we'll be talking about different stuff. But first, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is in person. No, I'm just messing. Hopefully we
Daniel,
get
can
them
we fact
eventually,
check
but-
that? Can we fact check that? Are we sponsored?
Sponsored by Raycon
No, we're not.
earbuds.
He said he's gonna work on it. He said he's gonna work on it.
So, yep. ExpressVPN. We'll get those
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to bring up in this episode was when this new Mandalorian wearing guy came out. I thought it was Macaulay Culkin. I
Did you really?
did. I mean, I can't.
Wait. Hold on. We have to go chronological order, right? We gotta start from the beginning of the episode.
Okay, yeah.
Start with the very beginning of the
What
episode.
an intro. Like, honestly.
First of all, I thought the episode was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He went full out
Whole thing.
Batman at the
Dude,
first
that was
Yo,
my
that
thought
was-
exactly.
yeah.
When he
I was expecting to
Definitely.
say swear to me, and
Definitely.
I was
Me
kind
too.
of hoping for it, but
Yeah. What were those things in the dark? Is there any names for those creatures?
I currently
they
I
didn't
don't know.
really show it. I
Yeah.
don't think.
I'm sure we'll
So-
find out.
All right. I was wondering.
But
I
that
love when
was
Baby
They're
Yoda
just
closed his crib. He closed his crib. He knew it was about
yeah,
to go
he knew
down.
he was like, it's about to go
Yeah.
down.
Good. Every scene Baby Yoda's in, he steals the show. Like I just want to see him like do the little winks and nods for a full hour.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And you know
I
what?
love it.
How far between the last episode that we saw? It has to be like just a few days, right? If anything, max.
Not more than like a week or
Not
two,
more,
I would
yeah.
Most likely.
Maybe even hours. Like this dude could have just went straight from planet to planet that quickly.
Now, when the last season ended, he was in his ship with Baby Yoda, and they were going to find his people. Is that what
Try
it
to
was?
find you.
hmm
The objective of this season is finding other Jedi.
Jedi. Yeah, not
Not
necessarily
necessarily his
Yoda
species.
species, but Jedi. Yeah.
So he's at this point looking around
For
the galaxy
other Mandos.
for other Mandalorians to get
To
into
help
the
him.
network
Yeah.
to help him find the Jedi, who are like
This
these
takes
wizards
place
that they fought.
When in the timeline again?
This is if I'm not mistaken,
Post episode 6 before episode 7.
yeah, it's like a few years.
Oh, okay.
I think
Years
maybe
after
like
episode
5
6,
years.
right?
I think it's like 5 years after 6.
5 years
episode
after the fall of the Empire.
Yep.
Yeah. I found that interesting that they talked about that because when you think about any time that an evil presence is taken out that was so big like the Empire was,
hmm
what they mentioned was there was a vacuum where a bunch of smaller factions started rising up.
taking over. Yeah.
So that 30-year period between episode 6 and 7, there must have been across the galaxy all these different
Mhm.
planets that had those small gangs taking over and
Crime
stuff like that.
bosses.
Yeah.
And I love when I see that because when I watch the movies, I'm like, I wonder what's going on, like in that block over there in Coruscant or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know what's going on there.
Mhm.
And there's so many other planets that we don't know about that is like what's happening.
I think that's one of the
Oh
things
my
that I
gosh,
like
I
most
know.
about Star Wars. That like, it's such a huge galaxy,
Yeah.
and especially if you're into like the legends
hmm
and the extended universe and stuff like that, which obviously I am, because it's so much more
Absolutely.
rich, and there's so much detail. Like if anyone listening has ever played the Knights of the Old Republic video games,
Yep.
you actually
Yep.
fight a crate dragon in that game, and it looks nothing like the one that
Yeah.
was in this episode, but it was still epic. And it's so
That's
cool to
awesome.
just experience all that kind of stuff in different formats, whether it's a video game, a TV show, a movie. To see different people's like director of a video game, the developer, or something like that, and then John Favreau's point of view and how he sees it. It's really awesome to see everyone put their own little
Which he
spin on
absolutely
stuff.
kills it. John Favreau
amazing.
is
Every time.
Yeah.
John Favreau's a legend.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
that guy is going to go down like he's like the Spielberg of our generation. I'm gonna be real with you. I think he's when you think about the movies that Spielberg directed, we're talking ones that broke ground for decades to come. We're talking Jaws. We're
Mhm.
talking the Jurassic Park series. We're
E.T.,
talking E.T. Like from the 70s
Ready Player
on
One.
to 2020. Ready
To
Player
Yeah.
One. Like it's insane. John Favreau's dabbled in
I
all
mean,
of Marvel.
John
and now
Favreau,
he's doing the
he kicked off the
Mandalorian.
MCU. He kicked it off. And look,
It really did.
oh shoot, my camera. Pause.
We're having technical difficulties.
Pause.
Dan, can we get a fix on this?
Hey, can we get Danny?
All right, there we go.
No.
There we go. There we go. There we go. We back. We back.
Dan, thank
Tech
you.
support.
Along with
Unpause.
Kyler's point that he was making though, when it comes to Star Wars, I think the reason I love it as much as I do is because, like you mentioned, they have the ability to do this expansive galaxy of thousands of planets and so many cultures and stuff, and yet at the same time do episodes of The Mandalorian we just saw where all it is two different tribes coming together, putting aside their differences to fight a monster, There's nothing better than that. Like no, it's Star Wars, any movie, any show. It's so simple and they do it so beautifully. I love it.
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't
Love
have to be some like huge intergalactic like battle between planets and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
It's
Some
something
expansive
nice and
story.
easy. Yeah, and it still works perfectly within the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love
No,
season 1.
I agree.
So season
I
2
had
can only get better.
one episode of season 1 that I didn't like,
Which was?
and the Prison Break one. And it
Oh, the
wasn't
one with
even
Bill Burr?
really
I agree.
Well,
the
yeah.
episode
It was a filler
itself. It was,
episode.
yeah.
Uh,
And I think the one gripe that I had was a lot of the episodes in season 1 were no more than like 30 minutes, and we only got 8 of them.
Yes.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't feel like we needed a filler episode when we had so few to begin with. And then on top of that, I felt like the acting in that episode from the
Yes.
side characters
Yes.
just like
I
took
agree.
a nosedive to Twilight
Yeah.
and kept hissing.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
pissed me off
I
like
agree.
a cat.
That was
Because they don't do that. Twi'leks aren't animals; they're people with
Yeah.
like tails on their head. That's it. That's the only
Kayla
difference.
Sa'ura.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
No,
Bill
I-
Burr
I-
too. He kind of got under my skin a few times. I was just like, ugh.
Which was a weird cameo
I
to
wouldn't-
begin with, because
Yeah.
Bill Burr like hates Star Wars, so it's like,
The best part of that was Matt Lanter making an appearance.
yeah,
Matt Lanter
He was
is
in that
Anakin
episode?
Skywalker
in the Clone
from
Wars.
Yeah.
Clone
He
Wars.
was
in
Yeah,
that
he was
episode?
he,
He
was
was
the
the-
Republic
he-
guard
yeah.
that got shot.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
There's
feel
a-
like we
that's
discussed
right.
that
There was a
after that
few
episode.
cameos too,
Mm.
in that one, the Red Bull fighters.
So that was
Yeah,
my
I
only
think
gripe
with
with
season 1, I definitely agree. I wonder if it was Jon Favreau trying to give his friends in the business maybe some more exposure in different fields. For example, Bryce Dallas Howard directed an entire episode.
Yes.
That episode was a complete filler episode. It was the one where they helped the
Where he met
I
Cara
still remember this
Dune.
episode actually.
Where he met Cara
They
Dune.
helped the tribe defeat. Yeah.
hmm
And they helped him and her helped the tribe people defeat the gang that was coming there. Very similar. And that was one where she directed it, and it was a good episode, but it was a filler.
Mm-hmm.
And like Kyler said, a season with only 8 to 10 episodes, and a lot of them were only 30 minutes. It just felt I wasn't a fan of that.
I'm sure
But,
maybe he was like, he
if we keep
knew,
getting hour-long episodes.
maybe he knew it was
There
a
you go.
filler, and so he was like, yeah, I'll just have someone else direct this for now, Except with the exception of
Yeah, to give them a
Taika
shot.
Waititi.
Taika with the last episode knocked
The
it out of
last
the park.
two, right?
Was it the last two or was it just the
I think it
last
was the
one?
last two.
I don't know. Either way,
Either way,
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's because Taika's a legend, and we're definitely going to be talking about him coming forward in a few episodes. I got some topics. Jon Favreau actually directed this episode himself. I wanted to look that one up. I was like, who's he going to give this first episode to?
Yeah, I'm sure he would. But that was
Yeah,
I liked it.
One of the biggest things that I loved was the cinematography of this episode. It was gorgeous. And
Definitely.
and the shot where
For
they
a planet that's full of just sand, that's
Yeah,
impressive.
true. Yeah,
I was gonna touch on that.
absolutely
The shot
beautiful.
where-
The shot of the helmet on the table when he
Ooh,
placed
that
it
was good.
down, beautiful.
Yeah.
The scene where it was Timothy Oliphant and it was like the camera zooming in on him, but the background felt like it was getting larger. I don't know if you guys caught that when he was like surprised of the size of the crate dragon.
Oh yeah, no.
And it kind of like it I forget the name of the trick of in terms of the
Oh, I don't know.
cinematography, but they like you like zoom in on the face, but like the background kind of it's
Expands.
crazy. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
I
the
loved
shot
it.
where the Tusken Raider was standing in front of the Crate Dragon cave,
Yeah.
and
The one that got
you just saw like that to me. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You could see the expanse of how big
Big.
that cave was.
hmm
And when they mentioned, I don't know if you
The
caught it,
Sarlacc.
when they were like, they were like, this was used to be a
So if
Sarlacc.
you eat
crate.
it?
It was like, used to?
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, when the Crate Dragon ate it, and I was like, no way.
Which is
Dude ate an entire Sarlacc.
yeah.
Mm.
Which is what I first expected. I was like, the Sarlacc is moving this fast, and then it turned out to be the crate dragon.
Which, and I think this is the first time they did it as more of like a like a Tremors kind of worm.
Yeah,
creature.
that's immediately what I thought of.
Yeah.
Tremors. Yeah.
Because in other like platforms and other media, it was more of like a Komodo dragon type thing, just like on a way bigger scale.
Yep.
So I do like the way that they kind of did that. Also, I appreciate the redemption of the noise that it makes from episode 4. Obi-Wan Kenobi doing his weird little whistle thing.
Yeah.
I was hoping that they weren't going to keep that, especially in an episode revolving around the Krayt Dragon. So I did like that he went back and fixed that. That was nice.
Yeah.
Question: is this the first? So I know in episode 4 showed the bones of a Krayt Dragon, but is this the first time they've showed like a canon Krayt
live
Dragon?
action.
Like we know what it looks
Yeah.
like.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's been in Legends.
And actually, fun fact, the bones from the Krayt Dragon that they showed in episode 4 are still there. I forgot what desert it's in, but they're still there.
Like we can visit it.
Like if you're flying like on a helicopter or something like that, because it's in the middle of nowhere.
It was huge
So
and they just didn't move
you
it.
actually finding it, along with the Luke's Uncle Ben and Aunt Maru's hut on Tatooine. That's also still there, and you can actually go and visit.
You can visit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should go.
I've seen the pictures of it.
Absolutely. It's like Star Wars Mecca right there.
Where is that? That's overseas, right?
There's no
I think
COVID
it's
there.
Italy.
I don't know why I want to say Italy,
No,
but
no.
I could be totally wrong.
It's somewhere in the Middle East. It's like Kazakhstan.
Yeah, it has to be in the Middle East. That's
Yeah,
what
you're
I'm
probably
thinking.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know why Italy's coming down.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I got goosebumps when the music first started and that theme from the first season came up. It was like, is
back.
Ludwig doing this season too?
He has to be. I think so. I'm pretty
think.
sure.
I wonder.
Are we all
Sound
going on
department.
IMDb right now?
I'm already here. I don't see him in the sound department, but maybe that's like booms, mics, and stuff like that. Oh wait, music department: Pete Anthony, Omar, Chris Weigel. Anyway.
I see Mandalorian
I'm sure
returns
he
for
is.
second season. Composer Ludwig hints at new themes. That's the first thing I see.
Oh, it is him.
Most likely, yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, definitely.
When you get the okay from Hans Zimmer, as your predecessor,
I mean, Ludwig,
you're good.
he's killing it.
What
amazing.
other big thing was he in?
He just did Tenet,
Tenet.
It was him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
which
Okay, I wasn't
which
sure.
is
Yet
like
to see it.
receiving a bunch of praise.
Yet
Oh
to
my
see
God.
it.
Tenet. Well, has anyone else seen it?
Nope, I haven't seen it.
No,
I
I haven't seen it.
Did you?
I
How
did.
was it?
It was mind blowing. Okay, so going off on a tangent.
I'm
real
gonna
quick.
say I
Pause
saw
them
it.
and work.
I'm gonna tell you I saw it. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first half, I don't know about you, Whitey. To let everyone know, I am the biggest Christopher Nolan groupie.
Oh, we all are.
Adore that man.
I mean,
He's amazing.
I think we all love it.
So going into this, I had the absolute highest expectations. Inception is my favorite movie of all time.
Mm.
We'll
I've
be
watched
touching
it
on that.
8 times now. So
we're gonna touch on that
big
later.
fan.
We're gonna touch on that
Yep.
later.
Going in, nothing but the highest expectations. The first half of the movie, I absolutely thought that Christopher Nolan lost a step. I thought that he kind of screwed up a little bit. I was like, I don't understand anything right now. I'm super confused. Even Crystal was like, babe, what's going on? Crystal's my wife. And I was like, I can't even explain it because I don't know. Literally, there's one scene halfway through the movie, and my brain kind of broke, and I was like, holy crap, I want to marry this
It
guy.
literally goes full circle. Like
Yeah.
it connects everything. Yeah.
And every single thing after that, it was like everything from
But I
before
feel like-
that one scene came flooding back, and I was like, holy crap, everything makes sense. And then moving forward, I was just drooling.
Yeah,
because
but
it was so
I feel like
amazing
Nolan
and
does that a
brilliant.
lot though with a lot of
Yeah,
his movies because he's obsessed with time. This man, I don't know what it is, but he's obsessed with the concept of time, and you
And
never
time
get that.
travel is one of my favorite things.
You never get that
Absolutely.
big payoff until like halfway through or towards the end, like Act 3, because
Pretty much.
for example, let's go like Dunkirk. Like they kept putting 1 week, 1 day,
Mhm.
1 hour, and you're like, what the heck is going on? Until it
Yes.
comes, until they
I-
all intertwine at the
Mhm.
same moment. You're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, you know. So
Yeah.
it was like, he is awesome. It's crazy.
I think that's why I love Christopher Nolan, because he's one of the few directors left that will, among other things, reward the audience for being smart. He doesn't dumb things down. He doesn't explain things right off the bat. He knows that his audience
Makes you
will pay
work for it.
attention. And when those things click, yes. Oh, when they click, it is an otherworldly experience. The only movie I could think of that did
Interstellar?
that for me that wasn't from him, that's from him, is Arrival.
Okay, Arrival.
We were in the
Oh my
theater.
god, one of my favorite alien movies of all time, and one of
Especially-
my favorite time travel movies of
Yeah.
all time.
Dude,
It was
yes.
just
Like,
Especially in
perfect.
this friend group.
feeling we got seeing that together. Yes.
Yeah.
When she
critical.
when she
Yeah.
picked
Like,
up that
I
phone,
remember-
Yo,
I can't. I got goosebumps.
the
I
moment
remember
the
Darian
moment
and
she
I-
said like, why do you keep showing me this girl, bro?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
was like,
god.
what?
Yup.
Yo.
I remember Darian and I trying to explain to our parents, like, you don't understand how good this movie is. You need to go see it. And then they went and saw it and they were like, eh.
Yeah.
We're just like,
they
I'm
don't
so
get it. They
disappointed
just
in
don't
you.
understand.
To this day,
They
my
just
parents
don't
don't like it.
understand.
Yeah.
They don't. My parents either. They thought, I was like, well, you guys, I mean,
Don't
you're my
appreciate good
parents,
cinema.
and you're not my parents anymore. So I'm moving along now.
It's those Gen X people.
That's the problem, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's beside the point.
Yeah. Let's get back
but
on
we're gonna
track.
get to
Bringing
those
it
movies.
back.
Yeah.
Bringing it back.
Yeah.
The Crate Dragon.
Out of 10.
Spitting acid. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. That was amazing.
Spit acid, bro. He done
Yeah.
so many
I
people.
liked how he kept, like, relocating.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like, I didn't
that
expect
was
a
awesome.
mountain.
And so
pretty cool
silently,
either.
and so
Yeah.
silently, like it was out of
Yes.
nowhere.
That was a cool touch, because a lot of
Yeah.
those kinds of, like, monster type creatures you expect to be more grounded. So to switch it up on, like, the audience and stuff and be like, maybe he can pop out here. Maybe he wants to be
Yeah.
behind you now.
And you know
it's,
what?
like,
And it
silent.
felt like you were there because they were
Yeah.
the characters were all looking around like, where is he gonna come out of now? And then like you also as a watcher, a viewer, you're like, where? So
Mhm.
it's
And I
pretty
also
cool.
like that they kind of, because when the first time they blew up the little detonators and stuff that they had in the ground, that's like a common thing. You're like, okay, yeah, obviously there's like 20 minutes left to this episode. It's not dead. And I like
Yeah.
that they were like, I don't think it's dead. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, good for you. You're smart. 'Cause you're
Yeah.
picking up on the fact that
Yeah.
it's not dead.
Yeah. Because normally in like a movie, the cliche would be like,
Oh,
hey,
we got it,
celebrate,
yeah.
yeah, before even checking.
Yeah. So that was pretty
That's
cool.
what. When you think about it, though, Star Wars, and George Lucas has said this countless times. It's everything he's ever made Star Wars related is for kids, and I think Disney. We can have a whole episode on the trash that Disney has done to this franchise, in my opinion, but I think that they've kept that bottom line where it is for kids. They're not trying to tailor the movies and the stuff to older people who they know a lot of the Star Wars fans today are 20, 30, 40 years old, the people who saw it originally, stuff like that.
Even older.
And they're still keeping this ground
Yeah.
game for the kids, and I love it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Would you want an adult version of Star Wars, like a more mature version?
1,000,000% yes.
I think if there's
Like,
if
if I-
there's one close to it would be Mandalorian, and I would love to see that
Yeah.
transition into like more of like a dark kind of.
Yeah.
It would
Mm.
depend on the plot. Like, it would have to be
That's
something
true.
more like Mandalorian. I wouldn't like something like that for a Jedi,
Yeah.
because they're
Mm.
they're too, like, pure and stuff like that, to make it more like kind of like
Definitely something like that.
grungy. It
Now,
would
when
be
it
a
comes to
little
the
too
Disney
coarse.
movies, Rogue One, when Darth Vader came out, that was the only part that I fell in love with. I was like, oh my goodness, him in his
Rogue One
prime.
in
I was like,
general.
oh my goodness.
Rogue One as
Rogue
a
One was
whole,
pretty good.
I loved. That's
Phenomenal.
one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Phenomenal. That's my highest rated spin-off of them, and I gave The Force Awakens an 8 as well.
When's that show gonna
Mm.
come
So they're
out?
tied.
The
I'm
show,
sorry.
the show on Cassian. There's a live action show of Cassian's origin.
Oh yeah.
You have
that's
that,
right.
like
Disney
you have
Plus.
that. You have Obi-Wan. There's a bunch of shows coming out.
So Obi-Wan starts filming in February.
Okay.
Ewan McGregor said it. So
Oh,
I'm excited.
2021?
Yep.
Okay.
I am
Progress.
super excited for that.
See,
I completely forgot
honestly,
what we were just
I
talking about.
was super bummed out when they did the Han Solo story instead of the
Obi-Wan.
one.
But I'll take a show.
I'll take a show, or because you get more. in the
I
long
agree.
run.
Mm.
So
Give
it
me
sucks that we had to wait a little longer, but in the end, it's gonna be more of a payoff.
in 2020. Give me a mini series of any show over a movie. I'd take 8 episodes because the way these shows are shot today, they're like movies. They have the
Mhm.
budgets of movies.
Mhm.
They have the cameras for movies, all that stuff. So give
the
me
passion.
8
Especially
hours.
Disney.
Especially
Yeah.
Disney. Give me 8 hours of Obi-Wan over 2.5 hours some trash Han Solo.
And then for him to use the Force in the last couple seconds.
I honestly don't remember much from Han Solo. I'm gonna be real with you. I blocked that out of my mind.
I know. Did we saw it together, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We did.
since then I never looked back
I
at it. I
don't
never
remember.
rewatched it. Nothing. I was like,
I've
no.
been showing Crystal all the movies because she hadn't seen Star Wars, so we watched that one again. And yeah, they definitely skipped the step there.
Honestly, the best part of that was Don
Yeah.
Glover. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
and he did the
Hands
best
down.
he could, you know.
Well, okay.
Given the
And Maul at the
circumstances.
end. Darth
And
Maul.
Maul,
That
yeah.
and Maul.
Yeah.
Maul was anytime you throw
That's
Maul
true.
into the mix, it automatically just
Give it
boosts
to me.
everything.
Give it to me. I'll take it.
Just like the
How you can
last
turn a
season of Clone
character-
Wars.
Oh my goodness. And wait, what happened in the last season of Clone Wars?
The fact that they put Maul in it more.
That's what I'm saying.
They,
Like,
they just inserted him with like Death Watch
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. Just
I-
shoving him even where he doesn't belong.
Yep.
And just forcing him in there. Just
yeah.
it works.
They
It doesn't
definitely
really
did
matter.
that
did.
because
Yeah.
after Phantom Menace, everyone was like, "You killed him off. We love Maul. This and that." And it took years, but they kept throwing him in there every once in a while because so
And it's
many
always
people
Sam
love Darth Maul.
Witwer.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
love that it's always
Give me more
Witwer
Sam
because
Witwer.
he's
Yeah.
amazing. Even when
What's
we went
Sam
to
Witwer?
the
Today I was
when we went to Star Wars convention in 2017,
yes.
and he's just going off
Yep.
because he himself, like personally, is a massive Star Wars fan, and this guy has like a steel trap for a mind. He knows the most obscure Star Wars trivia, and I love that because he
Let me tell
puts
you.
that passion back into his like voice acting and stuff like that.
Which is
Like,
what
he
you
just brings
need.
it all
That's
the way
what
back
you
around.
need.
Yeah.
It is, and that's why Freddie Prinze Jr. is so good as Kanan Jarrus because he's another one that's
Mhm.
legendary when it comes to knowledge. I was watching today this Star Wars trivia that they used to do on Collider, and Sam Witwer was one of the contestants. I mean, the things that this guy knows off the top of his head without thinking, immediate. They asked at the beginning of episode 4, what are the names of the 3 vehicles in the first shot of the movie? What are the names of the vehicles? And off the top of his head, he knew all 3. He only needed to name 1. Can't.
I
He's a
guarantee
legend.
you he can out trivia George Lucas. I guarantee.
Oh, I'm
it.
sure of it.
I
100%.
I'm sure of it.
There's-
I'm
there's
sure there's
no
a lot
way
of
George
people that
Lucas-
can out trivia George Lucas.
True.
Yeah.
I can't.
Wow.
The guy's
Wow.
amazing.
George is just going to sit there. He's like, well, we're just going to have Luke sit his sister.
Where's my Coke
That's
Zero?
what we're going to do.
Oh, did you see? Speaking of which, did you see they're doing another Christmas special where young
Oh.
Ray and young Kylo are gonna meet? Apparently, they cross paths at one point,
Oh,
which
no.
is weird, but yeah, something like
I'm
that.
going to be honest with you. I don't want any more of that story. I don't want no more.
Me
of it.
neither.
No,
Mm-mm.
there's
Let
a
it
lot of
die.
And that's,
there's a lot
I
of
love
better
you.
ways they could have ended it. A lot of better things they could have done with that
Oh
last
my
movie,
God.
but yeah, we need a whole episode just for that.
I think for
He dies, then she
I'm just-
dies.
Eh,
then
I
he
don't-
dies,
what is
she
that? What is
dies.
that nonsense?
I'm done with Skywalkers in general. I don't want anything more to do
She's
with
not
that
even a
family line.
Skywalker. She's
Yeah,
not even
I
a
know.
You know
Skywalker.
But
what?
they
And
adopted
that was the
Skywalker.
plan. That was the plan for this new trilogy when they started it off in episode. I mean, listen, episode 3 of the podcast is going to be Star Wars related. That's going to be the entire thing. We're going to talk about it then, and we can get into everything. Like we could talk about that forever. Question: out of
Sure.
10, what are you guys giving this episode, Mandalorian season premiere?
Off the top of my head right now, I'm gonna go with like
Give it to me.
a 7 for a few reasons.
Okay.
Number one, what we didn't mention at all yet was freaking Boba at the end.
I've been waiting.
Number
to
one,
say
we've
that.
been. Hey, listen, I've been waiting
Oh
for
my
this for
God.
so long. Just
I
seeing the
have it
armor,
in my
Podcast of that.
notes.
just seeing the armor, just sent me in a frenzy. And then you can ask my
Yeah.
wife. Literally, she was like, "Why are you screaming?" Like as soon as I saw at the end, she was like, "You're such a geek."
Yep.
I don't care. Like,
Yep.
bro, that was the
Yep.
best thing ever. And what a scene too. You know, the two
Absolutely.
sons, and then it just pans to him. It was just beautiful. And then
It was gorgeous.
yeah, and then this dude Mando leaves thinking, okay, there really was no Mandalorian here, when in reality there was. So it's
One
like,
of the most infamous Mandalorians
Yep.
yeah.
in Star Wars history.
So that
Yeah, it wasn't just Macaulay Culkin.
also like you mentioned, some of the cinematography, the shots that were in this were beautiful. The intro, amazing, and I love how it just picked right back up where it left off, just like straight to action, straight to, and it was low key a filler, but I mean it's gonna just be exactly how it was in season one, where he made this friendship, he made a new ally, and I'm sure it's gonna pay off later in the season.
So, what were your reasons for not giving it a higher score?
Um, I feel like there could have been more done, maybe. I don't know. Like they spent a lot of time with the Tusken Raiders, which is, I mean, it's cool. Tusken Raiders, we get to see a different side of them because we always see them as like these like vicious,
True.
brutal people.
Barbarians.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're just normal people
Scavengers.
living their life too.
And Mando speaking their language.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That
I
was
thought he was
Yeah.
talking to a dog at first.
Me too. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
I was like,
Bro,
sorry.
it's a mixture of sign language
Yeah.
and growling.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, Wiley, I actually gave it a 7 too.
Okay.
Initially, I gave it an 8 because I love the simplicity of the episode. I love the fact that it was like, it felt kind of like an older show where each episode was its own plot. You had an awesome beginning. You had a problem they had to solve. They had to go through adversity, and they solved the problem in the end. The only thing is, I don't want that many filler episodes. That's why I hate anime. And I can't deal with anime because anime fans you'll love this new show. You just got to get to episode 742 first, and then it really gets good.
You're
that's
not
what
you're
Wiley
not
told
wrong.
me
Yeah, you're not lying. You're not lying.
when Wiley was describing Dragon Ball Z to me, because I've never seen Dragon Ball Z, and I tried. I got to the point where Goku, with his little tail, was trying to carry a gigantic turtle back to the ocean. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm tapping out. But Wiley was like, even in the fight scenes, they're like charging up for like 3 episodes before they finally
It
fight
really
for
is.
like 8.
And then it's a bunch
Yeah.
of dialogue in the background from like Piccolo
Yeah.
not doing anything on the side, and it's
Yes.
like he's just not saying much of anything.
And
But
then
you
before
know
they
what?
throw the first punch, I mean, they
And
just
you
go
know
back
what?
to a memory.
Yeah, exactly. And you think that's bad? There's other shows. What is it? I think Naruto has like the most filler episodes out of any anime to ever exist. There's like, if you do the math, it's like 4 or 5 seasons of it is just straight filler episodes. It's like it's crazy.
God.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shows
I
like that. A
can't.
bunch of
I
yeah.
can't.
I'm
I
watching
personally can't get
Naruto
into it.
now, and it's literally been like 5 episodes, and they're still trying to fight the same person.
You see-
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah. That's
God. God.
Yeah. And it's always the same tropes. The main character goes through this thing where he can't do it, and he starts crying.
The arc.
He
Yeah.
gets real crazy. And then he
I
starts
love
doing
it too because I just actually started. We were talking about it before. I started rewatching Attack on Titan today. Before I started work, I have like a half hour where I drink my coffee and stuff like that, and I sit with my phone on Hulu and I'm watching Attack on Titan. And I just love how when they have those kinds of shows, it's someone just like talking, but the background is just so intense, and there's like wind rushing everywhere,
Yeah.
and they're just having a normal conversation.
Yup.
But it's like the Earth hates them,
Yeah.
and it's just so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not lying.
It took me a little bit to get used to animes when I first started watching them because of that weird thing that they would do where they would monologue and talk for like 3 full minutes while they're jumping across a pond. They'll just be in the air the whole time, and he's like, "Xing shao shao yong yang yong ching yong," and it's like this whole monologue about his entire family's history.
No
Yeah.
making fun
for
of
those 3 minutes.
of languages. Yeah.
No, well, we just don't know what they're saying. Yeah, like that's what it sounds like to us. But yeah,
Yeah, you
I
know what I'm saying.
anime. I mean, I was talking to Erickson about this because he loves anime too, right? And
That doesn't surprise me.
well, yeah. I mean, there are a bunch of my friends
Me
do, but I asked him, I was like, do you think like there's one I can get into? And he was like,
Yes.
I'm sure there is because there's so many. And he's like, it's
Mhm.
just like watching any other TV show on like regular US channels. It's
Yeah.
like there's gonna be one that you're gonna like. I was like,
You're
I
gonna latch on
guess,
to.
but I mean, it's probably gonna take me a while to find one, so I don't know. But
I'd say
Yeah.
Death Note. Try Death Note first.
One
'Cause
Punch Man.
that one will hook you up like this. You'll get hooked into that.
But with that thought process, that was the reason I took away a point from 8 to 7. I love everything else about it. I'm not a fan of filler episodes.
yeah,
And that's why I can give every episode in this season a 9 and still give the season a 7 if it was all fillers. I like each episode alone, but out of the season I wanted more. So that was just my thought process with the episode.
Mm.
I loved it though. I really enjoyed it.
makes sense.
Joey Kyler.
I'd probably go up to 8, but more because I just like fangirled the hell through this episode. Just like being back and seeing everything, I'm just it has like a really like big impact with me because even before the show came out, going on Wikipedia and just like reading everything there is to read on Mandalorians,
Yep.
I have this like infatuation with that entire like clan, the creed and all that stuff.
Culture.
Yeah, just like the warrior culture.
Yeah.
Playing again, going back to Knights of the Old Republic. There's actually I think it's the second one. I can't remember right because it's been a while since I played them. But in one of the games, there's a point where you go to this moon, Duxon, and you're in a Mandalorian camp, and they give you like armor, and you can train with Mandalorians and stuff like that. It had nothing to do really with the story.
I think it's the first one.
I feel like it is the first one.
Yeah.
But I just spent hours in the camp. I had nothing left to do there. But I would just hang out there and talk to the same people and get the same
Yep.
dialogue over and over again because they would even tell you stories on the Mandalorian War.
Yeah.
Where you're fighting against the Jedi and they're fighting these basilisk war droids and it's just so
It was one.
freaking
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. So anytime I see anything having to do with Mandalorians and stuff like that, and that's why I love this show so much, it brings me right back to that moment when I first played that game, and it just blows my mind every time. So
I get that.
I absolutely agree with all of your points, but I would probably just bump it up a little bit more, just because I'm such a huge fangirl.
Joey, before you
Now,
go.
do you guys think?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I remember another issue I had with the episode, which I don't know if anyone else caught on to it. I feel like Kyler probably would when I mention it. And I could be wrong here, but aren't the Bantha like sacred to the Tuscans?
Yes.
So why are they sacrificing? I understand that they're trying to survive, but to me, I
Yeah,
feel like they
I
wouldn't do
wasn't
that.
Sure about what was going on. I don't know if it's like kind of like this is our like most sacred thing.
Here, take
Please,
it like a
take it as,
sacrifice.
like a sacrifice.
Yeah, it could be.
Or
it could.
if it was just like an overlooked kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they never even mentioned it, so I'm probably leaning more towards it was like an overlooked detail, because that's like an obscure kind of thing.
Because they were like all too like ready to sacrifice their.
Yeah.
And I was like, and
They were getting
again,
rid of those things.
going back to Old Republic, there was a whole like level or like section about that, right? Wasn't there?
It's like a mini kind of quest sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where you have to, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, I think I'm leaning a little more towards like an overlooked detail.
Yeah, it could
But if you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, it could go more towards like, hey, this is like our god, like our deity kind of thing. So
Yeah.
take this as like a symbol of our whatever.
Now, do you guys think Obi-Wan will go in the direction that this show's going? That kind of thing? It's going to be more serious like that?
I hope there's a little bit sass.
No, there's gotta be.
True.
There's gotta be.
Because it's Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I would love, especially seeing how oh no, that wouldn't work because this is after episode 6.
See, but this.
I was gonna say if there was like some kind of crossover or something like that where he saw like Din or something like in the background, or you see him like fighting on his speeder, but that wouldn't work.
This would be. I feel like Obi-Wan would be more of kind of like it would remind me more of like a secret agent type of show. because like the difference between Mando is he's a Mandalorian. He's not hiding that fact. He's just walking around fronting it like I'm a Mando. I'm looking for other Mandos. This and
Yep.
that. But Obi-Wan, the Jedi are like supposed to be dead, so he has
Yeah.
to hide who he is.
And that's another thing that I really like.
So I'm sure there's gonna be a major plot point.
The different purges throughout Star Wars history.
hmm
Because there's been, I think, 4 great purges of like the Jedi and all that stuff. So seeing how like the ones who survived the initial attacks managed to like go underground and find help or find refuge or fight back in some cases, that's been really, really awesome. Seeing
write
the
that down.
different way that they approach their situations. And obviously we know that Obi-Wan took the hiding kind of approach, but I hope that in that show we don't really just see him skulking around in caves and stuff like that. Like I would like to see him
actually
step out
fight.
a little more and be like, hey, I'm looking
I think it'll be
for,
more
like,
lighthearted.
this Jedi. Yeah, I want to see some kind of stuff where it's he hears about like a Jedi who's in trouble or something like that, and he knows that Luke's on Tatooine and he's safe, so he's gonna step out real quick to this planet and go help him out, and then come back and make sure that Luke's like sleeping in his bed after bedtime and stuff like that. That sort of thing.
Yeah, nah, I can totally see that. I want the Mandalorian style of Star Wars to stay in Mandalorian, the show, and this is just what I want from Obi-Wan. I kind of want it to go in its own direction, where kind of like Episode 3, which when we go over our top Star Wars movies, see where mine lands for Episode 3. I enjoyed it. I love that movie. It has a special place in my heart, and it balanced the drama with the seriousness, with the lightheartedness, and it showed, the Obi-Wan and Anakin style. So I'd like to see that, and I'm sure they'll introduce some people that Obi-Wan had with him when he was in that time on Tatooine and stuff, and whatever. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Joey, your rating for the episode?
Let me see.
Kind of skipped over you. I'm sorry, buddy.
It's okay. Middle child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say solid 7.5. 7.5.
Oh, no
If
point.
we're all gonna,
Not allowed.
we can't do 0.5s. All right, 7 to
You
8.
got to decide. You're a man.
7 to 8.
7 to 8.
No loopholes.
All right, well, let's see. First off, I don't know. I feel like what would you say? The disagreements and the hatred between the Tusken and these people seemed a little bit too dramatic, especially when they're around the campfire. And he gave him a little pumpkin, little nasty little black dust coming out. He's like, have the water. He was like, oh, not the potato. He just threw it out.
It's just straight up disrespectful.
A little too dramatic. I mean, let's be honest, a little too dramatic. And when they try... Oh, go ahead.
In his defense, when you got these people who just like come out of nowhere,
and slaughter like half of your tribe or whatever.
He would, but again, then it goes back even further, and they're like, well, those settlers are stealing the Tuskens' water.
Yeah.
So you can go in circles and stuff like that, but
from either viewpoint, they're right.
Yeah.
And there is obviously a lot of like tension and stuff like that, so you can kind of understand at the same time, like everyone's kind of trigger happy, looking for any reason to call
fight
the whole thing off and just start shooting.
Let's see. When they're riding the bikes, my man Timothy, he's using some Head and Shoulders, my boy, because his hair did not move in the wind.
I did see that. I saw.
I mean,
this is not real.
It was CGI. That's probably another thing they overlooked. Yeah.
You going faster than a bullet on that thing, and his hair set.
It's the aerodynamics. It's passing over.
Like, they took this dude right off a Just for Men's box. Like, this dude had the most like glorious salt and pepper hair I've ever seen. He was like, I found it so. There's not that many people in Star Wars that are like that, like pristine looking. Like, usually in Star Wars movies, they don't go for the most like good looking people. I mean, Adam Driver is like your average dude, that kind of stuff. So this dude, I mean, he kind of did look like Macaulay Culkin before he took the helmet off.
Well, his body type, but he's a pretty handsome guy.
He took off a metallic helmet, and his hair was like, like all beautiful and everything.
Do you remember The Office?
Yeah, The Office. Everyone loved him.
Like
that's right.
He was like the model that was stealing all the clients with his charm.
Yeah.
This makes
sense. What else? I was hoping for Baby Yoda to pull out some force with that crate dragon. That's what I was
Yeah,
hoping for.
when
Yeah.
they was like, we need
Yeah,
to
I
draw
thought it
him
was
out more, I felt like he was
And it
gonna
was going
force
back?
pull.
Yes.
So
Or
here's
the
that
what's
would
it
have been a
called?
good time.
Beast something, which is again another power that you can purchase.
oh
with
yeah,
the tier
beast.
I'll
It's
Force.
look
like
it up.
beast taming or beast whatever.
Something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Yeah, with the Force you can connect to other living animals
yeah.
and creatures and stuff like that, and you
yeah,
can like telepathically kind of communicate with them in a really like bare bones sort of way. So I
yeah.
was thinking he was gonna kind of do something like that and draw it out
So
for them to
my
attack.
thought process on it was, they kept like referring to how large it was. And then so I thought that they were gonna like have Baby Yoda pull him out, and then that way they can just kind of say like that's how strong he is in the Force.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Animal Bond. That's what it's called.
Animal Bond, yeah. But
There we go. Yeah. No, I think. You have anything else, Joe?
No, that's pretty much it. My boy Timothy looked like a string bean coming out with the Mando armor, though. Walking through that
I thought
doorway,
he was
bro.
a child.
so
I thought he was
slender.
like a teenager or
so
something.
slender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I wish they gave him some like padding
Some for
or
real.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he looked kind of like
A
gangly.
bobblehead.
He was literally just like
Yeah.
us if we just put on the helmet and the chest piece.
Yeah.
Exactly how we're dressed right now. Like that's all it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
I mean, they didn't give him a heads up that they were going to start shooting or
Yeah.
nothing. He didn't turn aside, nothing. Brother Timothy
Go
was
nice.
looking slim.
But
You're like, can you
at
come
the
in?
same time, it makes sense because he was just like some farmer
Yeah,
who
he
just
was
tossed
random.
on
That's
some
true.
armor. So it would be like us just grabbing some Mando armor and just putting it on because he's not like
Yeah.
an actual trained warrior or anything like that. He just pretty much picked up a helmet and a blaster and
And he
started
could
going
shoot.
off.
His aim was true, and all those guys who were trained to shoot missed
Yeah.
every shot, except for the
That's
chest
very
piece.
Star Wars-esque, though. I mean, you can't have a Star Wars movie or show without people missing.
But you're a
Simple
farmer. But
shots.
he pulled it. He went.
He was like,
and
That's it. He was ready.
it felt like a western at that point. It felt like a
Yeah.
western type
So we're
thing.
gonna do
And
it here.
I like how
Yeah.
We're gonna do
nobody
it here.
wore spurs, but every
But you
single
can hear
step
it.
Yeah.
you could hear the spurs.
Yep. True.
Okay, all right. So this brings me back to the last season when he was on Tatooine with the bounty hunter, right?
Mhm. The kid.
At the end, the dude
Okay,
walked
okay.
up to the dead body. Was it
And
Boba?
everyone
Or
thought it was Boba.
was it Boba? Was it this dude? Like it could have been Boba.
It could have been Boba, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's Tatooine.
Yeah.
And that's what one of the biggest.
And that
things
was
was
everyone
everyone's like,
said
oh,
it
that
was Boba. Yeah.
We said that last season. Yeah,
Mhm.
I remember that.
By the way, we're running around 48
I
minutes
think
right now.
overall. Okay, yeah, it's perfect timing.
Yeah,
I
just
think
letting you know.
overall we all enjoyed the episode. And I think that's a wrap for that portion of the episode.
Yep.
I
Looking forward
was
to the next
wondering
one.
what you guys think about the future of the physical movie industry, in the sense that, do you think that with everything going on right now, COVID and everything, when do you think people will be back in the theaters? Maybe not to the level they were before, but even relatively close.
Close
Because
to
right
it.
now,
Mm.
yeah, it's not looking good at all.
I want to say we gotta wait till past halfway through next year, when the actual vaccine comes out and whatever, and just to see how people react to it. I mean, if it's positive, then maybe a little bit sooner, maybe towards December when people are ready. I mean, I don't know, because I mean it's gonna be winter again, cold and whatnot, but
With
you're
it depends on
right.
that.
with the new seating things that a lot of theaters are doing with the larger seats and stuff like that, and there's more space between moviegoers and everything. I think that'll play a bigger role as well because you only have to really
Yep.
leave one seat empty, so they'll be able to kind of open them up a little more. I think that people will be a little more skittish being
Mhm.
that close to random strangers in like a dark room for 2-3 hours without really
Yeah.
any break in between or anything like that. So I think that'll definitely play a bigger part in it. So I think
It's most likely gonna be like, yeah.
even after they open things back up, I think that's one of the last industries that'll really pick up again.
This will most likely be like
Now, do you think
Asia.
the way it's looking right now that it survives until then?
That's what's scaring me. I hope it's not like the death of movie theaters. I mean, look at Regal. Regal already shut down. Now AMC
Yeah.
is a lot
Yep.
larger. They have a lot more money. But even so, I mean, they were out of business for so long.
Mhm.
So that's what kind of scares me.
But I like that
struggling.
they're still looking for ways to kind of
The private movie theater. That was
that's
smart.
one thing that they can do to get things back
Yeah.
into gear and stuff like that, and allowing people to say, hey, I want to see this movie that my friends and I really used to watch and like all the time and stuff like that. So they're like, oh, okay, so here, get a few of them, and if you want to watch it in IMAX, you can do that too.
Yeah,
and just pay this much or
because
whatever.
people are
Yeah.
definitely missing just the overall experience of being
yeah.
in the theater. So they know that, like, okay, if you and your family and you guys are all clean and you guys are all COVID free or whatever, but you still want to enjoy that experience, then
Mhm.
here's a private theater. So
I was telling Crystal, I think when we went to go watch Tenet, actually, driving over there, that half of watching a movie for me personally wasn't. Oh, what's up, Ray?
Baby Yoda.
That's it.
Half of going to watch a movie like that for me wasn't even about the movie itself specifically. It's
Yeah.
like the experience of driving to the theater, of seeing the trailers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. of
Yeah.
especially when you're in IMAX, when they do the countdown
Like
to the
watching
IMAX symbol, watching the Universal symbol like pop out and go around the globe and stuff. Just that sort of stuff.
Or the
just gives
Marvel
me
intro.
bro,
goosebumps.
just
Yeah.
watching Endgame and when Captain America caught the hammer and then me tearing Darian's
Stop
bicep
it.
off his arm.
Stop it. Oh my
And
goodness.
Darian
I
crying in
can't.
the movie theater and me tossing him a tissue.
Oh
And it's
my
cool too
goodness.
when you're seeing a movie like that. I mean, we would always spring for the premiere,
Yeah,
the first
definitely.
release that night.
Absolutely.
So going there
Thursday
and seeing
nights.
it with 200-300 other people who feel just as passionately as you do about
Dude,
it,
and we're all
and getting
yelling.
the experience of
Yep.
everyone freaking the heck out when anything awesome happens, just
Yep.
all that stuff together, you can't get that in your living
Yeah,
room.
because for that moment, you stop being strangers and you're just like all friends. Like
It's a
for that.
community.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I just got goosebumps. You hit it right in the
I'm
head.
gonna cry now.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that experience next episode. Because next episode we'll do we had planned a whole Marvel versus DC along with the Mandalorian review,
Okay.
so we'll be going over all that
All
stuff.
right.
Goodness.
All right. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
That's
Oh,
extensive
God.
right there. So.
Oh my
That's a
goodness.
Can
That's
of
gonna be-
worms.
I
Yeah.
know.
That's gonna be juicy. But
Mm.
yeah, I think when it comes to the physical movie theaters, it's scary because if they closed now and saved all the money and opened up when everyone was good, then they would survive. But they can't do that. It's not the way money works. It's not the way
Yeah.
businesses work. You have to stay open the whole time.
Hmm.
So can they stay open for that year minimum, in my opinion, till things start getting back to where you feel comfortable to go to a movie theater with random people next to you? I don't know. And I think that's where streaming comes into play. And they're doing with Mulan and all that stuff, Disney Plus and renting and whatnot.
I think
I don't know. I hope.
it could be a good idea. Now, how would they go about it? Like, would they lend the rights to all these streaming services, or will they make their own streaming service like that? That's kind of like where they have to think about it.
And then that's the part that sucks too, because like in my case, when we moved into our apartment, we didn't get cable because we're just gonna pay for Netflix, Hulu,
Yeah,
and Amazon,
that's
and not
that's
Disney.
exactly. Yep.
But
It's cheaper than cable.
now all these individual like channels, like they have like HBO Max, CBS has a streaming.
Yeah,
thing,
Peacock
they're all
and
like
yeah.
Peacock.
stuff.
Uh-huh.
So then you're
NBC.
like, okay, well if I'm getting all these individual streaming services and stuff like that, it's gonna cost me way more than if I were to get cable.
Mhm.
So it's
But then there's nothing on
becoming-
cable though,
yeah.
so that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like,
but it's becoming a thing where it's now becoming such a big expense if you want to watch all these shows, because each and the other part that sucks too is most of these services, I shouldn't say most of them, but a lot of them have like one really good show,
yeah.
That you want to
and
watch,
then
yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else is
Yeah.
garbage.
Like right now,
Yep.
Peacock
That's
is
true.
straight caca. Like it's but come January they're gonna have
It's
The
doo-doo.
Office. But come January they're gonna have The Office because it's coming off of Netflix.
Yep.
So they're gonna
They're
own the
taking
right.
it off Netflix.
Yeah, this is the last year that we have
Yeah.
Office, and then it's going
Yeah.
to Peacock. So that right there is just gonna
But
boost
Peacock is
their
free, by the way.
ratings. Yeah, Peacock is free.
Oh, okay. I got
it
real
just has
nervous
commercials.
It has commercials, but I have
Yeah.
like Peacock
That's
Premium
fine.
because I have Xfinity, and it comes with like Peacock Premium or
Mm.
something like that.
It's like HBO
I don't
Max.
do commercials.
They took Friends,
Yeah, they have
and that
Friends,
really sucks.
which
Yeah.
I have HBO Max because and they have so many movies though. I like
Yeah.
watching Friends. Friends is like that show that I like having in the background, or like if I'm going to sleep or whatever.
100%. I agree.
But they also
Yep.
we pay for HBO Max is pretty worth it because they have so many like good movies on there.
All the DC movies,
Yep.
the animated ones. Animated ones are really good.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
Zack
On HBO
Snyder's
Max?
cut is coming
The
out on
animated
there.
ones, that's it.
I thought that DC
wait
had
for
their
that.
own service now.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's cut.
DC
That's
does
another
have
one
their
we'll be talking
own, but
about.
that's
They're-
for like
they're
their
doing it
live
through
action
HBO.
stuff.
Oh, okay.
They have like the Titans.
Joe, we're gonna
thing.
get to that in movie news because I got some interesting stuff there. But when it comes to streaming, I don't know if you guys heard. So Mulan tried out a thing on Disney Plus where if you pay for Disney Plus as a streaming service, it was a $30 rental on top of that to get the movie.
Which is garbage.
To get the movie early.
Yeah,
That is absolutely ridiculous. I
Okay,
couldn't believe that was.
yeah, that was beyond.
how they
And
went
not
about it.
even for like a fantastic movie. Like it got
Yeah.
garbage reviews. So
It's
like,
some random.
Without-
Mulan got trashed.
They don't
Yeah.
even have the little
Mushu.
dragon.
Yeah, they didn't have
Mushu.
Mushu,
He's
bro.
not even in there.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Wasn't that Eddie Murphy? I never
Yeah.
saw the original.
Yeah.
Mulan.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if
Okay,
if
he
you're
was
gonna
just
do
a
it now,
comedic
there's so many people. You could have gotten Kevin Hart. You could have gotten. There's like so many people that you could have had.
Yeah, The Rock. Like, come on.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let's do it. So
John Cena?
that was my thing. I
Black
don't-
Adam.
if they're gonna do that kind of streaming stuff, I think AMC can come out with their own product and kind of do it very similar to what they were doing in movie theaters, where they charge maybe $25 to watch the movie, and they get a portion of it, and the rest goes to the actual movie producers, like it's done in regular movie theaters. Maybe like I don't know if you guys know Redbox online, you could stream on-demand movies, pay the $5 or whatever it is, $2 will go to Redbox, $3
I
will
didn't
go to
know
the producer.
I didn't either.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
not
So I
aware.
think AMC can do something
Now,
like that.
see, that is a good idea, but the problem with like new releases is they can be on board with that, but the actual movie companies also have to be on board. For example, James Bond, 007.
Universal,
Mhm.
Sony.
They shut down rumors. They're like, no, we're waiting till theaters are open back up so people can see this, in the cinema or whatever. So they're just completely
Yeah.
rejecting
Christopher
any
Nolan
streaming
with
service.
Tenet.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan with Tenet. So like,
He won't do it.
so AMC could do it, but is it going to be a payoff if all these companies are just denying their request to do it? You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Netflix and Amazon were in a bidding war with the James Bond movie. They were trying to get it. They were up
Yeah.
to 650
600
million.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
That's before the movie came out.
Jeez.
So imagine the movie automatically grossing over a
Holy
half a
cow.
billion dollars. Like,
yeah,
that's
they would have
insane.
made money off
Yeah,
of it.
and they
but
denied it.
Yeah.
They said we're waiting.
Because it didn't cost that much to make.
No.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
like
no,
300.
Well,
Maybe like
Yeah.
300 million.
So right there,
I'm guessing.
you're already good.
all
We
right. So
can
I think
edit
it's a
some
good
of this
time to
too.
go into the movie news and do a quick rundown on some stuff that I've come across over the past few days. And
Okay.
if you guys have anything, throw it in.
Sure.
Let's see. So, where is it? I have it written down here. I don't know if you guys saw in the Snyder cut. Is it Schneider or Snyder?
I've heard
Snyder.
Snyder.
Question.
Ew.
Okay, yeah, I thought it.
That,
I
that's
prefer
how I
Snyder.
heard
I say Snyder, Zack Snyder.
it. Okay. Well, I'm an
Well,
idiot.
So,
Okay.
Deathstroke and Lex Luthor are both going to be back for the Snyder cut, and apparently they're going to have
And Joker.
bigger parts.
And Joker.
And
Joker
yes,
as well.
Yeah.
is that
Jared Leto
yes,
confirmed.
Jared Leto?
Yep.
Yeah.
I heard
what I was
Jared
gonna
Leto
say.
was confirmed. Yeah.
I think Jared Leto was the worst thing to ever happen to this country since like ISIS. Not a fan of the Joker. Want to be very
Holy
Is
clear.
ISIS in America?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
This is Trump land. But
As
yeah,
you're
no,
saying.
I'm not a fan of Jared Leto's Joker, but I am super excited for Joe Manganiello or whatever his name is to be as Deathstroke again.
100%. He looked great in the suit.
Because are they doing reshoots?
Dude, he did.
Yeah.
No, so basically this
No.
was all filmed. So basically what happened with this movie, which was a complete tragedy. So Zack Snyder had this great expansive storyline that pretty much was way better than what we got. But what happened was DC said, "Hey, we don't care about your story. We just want to make money. So we're gonna trim this down by like pretty much all your main story points, you
And
know,
they
like
lost
and
all of their money.
and yeah, we're gonna trim this down so that we can have as many showings as possible in the movie theaters." And then Zach was like, "But hey, if you do that, a lot of the main points that I'm gonna get to were explained with this little stuff that I was leading up to. You know, like there was a lot of flashback story that we missed, where he met Iris, if I'm not mistaken, he saved her. There's like a whole lot of like backstory, but that got cut out, which caused this like garbage movie that we all saw in the theaters, unfortunately.
That
And
and his daughter, who tragically passed away.
yeah, and then
He
he
had to leave
left.
halfway.
He
and
left.
You're
so
right.
She
Joss
died in a.
Whedon took over,
Mhm.
and that's when the whole thing changed as well.
Yep.
He took
Forgot
over,
about
and that
that.
movie was absolutely doo-doo because Steppenwolf looks nothing like he was supposed to look like whatsoever.
Apparently,
And who
yeah. Apparently,
cares about Steppenwolf? Nobody cares about
Thank you.
Steppenwolf.
He's one of
I
Darkseid's
thought
yeah. We
about
want
generals,
Dark
something like
Side. We
that.
want to see
Yeah.
Dark Side. We don't want to see Steppenwolf.
Exactly.
And
We
that's
want
why
Dark Side.
That's why in the trailer you see Darkseid actually instead of Steppenwolf, Darkseid
Dark
was
Side.
the backstory that
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was talking about. Because when she was saying in the movie like about his home world, it's not Steppenwolf's
It's
home
not
world.
Steppenwolf's. Yeah.
It's Apocalypse. It's
Yeah.
Darkseid's home world.
Yeah. There's like a
I
lot
don't
of main
remember much
stuff.
about that movie either, to be honest.
It's garbage.
Well, we could talk about that with the
Yeah,
DC Marvel
Yeah,
thing, 'cause
yeah.
Yeah, well,
that's
we'll talk
oh,
about
we
that
will
a
another
whole
time.
huge
get to that.
conversation that we have to have about that.
We'll have notes on that.
and the
100%.
tragedy.
We will. Suicide Squad. The picture that I showed you guys of
Oh.
the new movie.
We need to put that on the Instagram for everyone.
For
Yeah.
the
I'm
next
gonna
episode.
I'm gonna start gymming
I mean,
the
it's gotta be
camera.
on the screen.
That'll also be a conversation for the Marvel.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
see.
that's another.
That-
Yeah.
I'm
is-
just so excited for Pete Davidson. That's the one shining light in that movie.
Oh man.
You know what's interesting about it? So James Gunn is the one directing it, and we all love James Gunn, phenomenal director, Guardians of the Galaxy, Dude's a legend. They told him when the reason he got this movie was because he was fired from Marvel for all that stuff.
He was
going on,
fired from Guardians,
and
so he had
DC
a
was like,
yeah.
Officially, like he's not allowed.
No, he
back?
was. Then
He's
they
back
rehired
now.
him. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
yeah, it was one of those cancel culture things. 10 years ago, he said something, and it came
Yeah.
out today. They fired him, and every movie studio, Universal, Sony, DC, they were like, please work with us.
Yeah.
So DC said you can literally make any movie you want. Superman, Suicide Squad, whatever you want. And he was like, let me do Suicide Squad. The only caveat is I get to kill off whoever I want in the movie. So, yeah, I read that in an interview.
Well, with how many
last week, he
villains
said it.
are in there, I'd assume like
Oh my
80% are
God.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at the cast of this movie, like from all the people that are in it, I mean, someone could die in the first. Like John Cena could be gone in the first 3 minutes of the
I
movie.
feel like he's gonna survive somehow. Somehow
I
he's
feel
gonna
like
stay alive.
I feel like literally one of the
Well, he
first
has a
characters to
show.
die is gonna be Pete Davidson.
No.
He has like
First
nothing.
Squad
He has like
is-
nothing
want
to
him
do.
be the only one who survives.
I feel like the survivors is gonna be Harley Quinn because that's the moneymaker of DC.
Elba, probably.
Idris Elba, Harley Quinn, and probably John Cena are gonna be like the 3
Birds
survivors.
of Prey was trash.
Yeah.
I never even bothered watching it.
Dude,
I
so
didn't
bad.
like purposely watch it. My wife was watching it in like the background, and I was like, "What is this
So
garbage?"
we have
Yeah.
Captain Boomerang again. He's
Yeah.
back.
Polka Dot Man, the legend.
It's Boogle Man.
Wait,
Oh, he's Russian.
that's the guy from Ant-Man, right?
No, remember he's from
Which
Ant-Man,
one
the
is
Russian guy. Yeah,
It is him, right?
yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool. I like him. He's
Polka
cool.
Dot Man is. Am I wrong or is that That's his name, right? That's his superhero name is Polka Dot Man.
Yeah,
Is that it?
Yeah.
He's not a
Well,
superhero. He's a villain. And yeah, it's Polka
Oh,
Dot
a villain.
Man.
I'm sorry.
He's a
He's
what?
he's a minor
Yeah,
villain.
yeah. So
He's a
David
Batman
Zaslav-
villain, right? Or isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the dark times of DC.
He's like some minor Batman villain.
Yeah.
He's David Dast Malchian. I never know how to pronounce this dude's last name, but he always plays side characters in movies. Phenomenal actor. He was in Dark Knight Rises, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was the
Not
one who was
100%
like
sure.
the Joker.
Yeah, the one that
Oh yeah, you're right.
that
Yes,
Two-Face had
yes.
tied
In the
up
crowd?
in it. Yep.
Oh no, you're right. Never mind. You're right.
Yes. Yep. He
Yep.
always plays side actors, and
Yeah,
he's
he
so
was in
good with it, and
Ant-Man.
I'm
He's one
glad
of the
to see him get
friends,
a
the
role like
dude.
this.
Peter
Yeah,
Capaldi's
and
in
he
it.
was
The
in
guy who was the doctor.
The
One of the
13th
Louis
Doctor.
Capaldi.
The doctor.
Oh,
He's playing
Where
the
is Paul?
thinker.
Really?
He's gonna play
Ooh.
the thinker.
Peter Capaldi is an angry Irishman. And I love it.
Aren't all Irishmen
That's
angry?
amazing.
Aren't they
He's
all
old,
angry?
He's old and he's cranky. And he's the best.
True.
Let's see what movie this is in. Let's see.
So I mean, that was something that James Gunn had said in an interview he did earlier the week, saying that they were like, you can kill off whoever you want in this movie, which I found interesting because John Cena has a spin-off show coming to the DC streaming service as whatever character he's playing in this movie.
That's right.
love-
It's Peacemaker.
That's right. And Peacemaker.
I love-
Yeah, that's right. He is gonna.
In the first Suicide Squad, that one dude Slipknot that they
Yo, they
created
killed him
for the
off like
movie.
this.
Oh,
They literally
goodness,
created
dude.
to show how the bombs work. When he blew his head off, and his superpower was like he creates these ropes that are indestructible, and just
Nice
immediately
head.
just
It wasn't even a power. It
decapitated.
wasn't even a power. He
No.
was just like a criminal that can
Yeah.
climb anything. That's all it was.
Something like that, yeah. It
So,
was
yeah, see,
so hilarious.
John Cena's gonna survive if he's gonna have a TV show, a little spin-off of
Yeah.
that. Unless it's a
Unless it's an
prequel,
origin,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Game.
Let's see, King Shark's gonna be in it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He's,
He's supposed to-
like
he's
an actual
originally-
John
villain.
Cena get.
He's
Yeah.
supposed to be in Suicide Squad, not Killer
Yeah.
Croc.
He's in the video game that's
Take
coming
John
out, right?
Cena out of
Yeah.
anything.
The new Fast and the Furious. John Cena's in it. Like, what the heck?
I can't like anything
Wrestlers.
John Cena touches in Hollywood. Like I'm not a fan of. It's a wrap.
Yeah, isn't he supposed to be
He's
Dom's
a terrible
brother?
actor.
Yeah.
Who nobody's
Which.
heard of?
Yes.
Oh,
Nine
yeah,
movies
that's
in?
right. That's right. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
stupid. Why have they never said anything about
It's
that?
beyond- I don't know.
They'll
How many
explain
times
it.
does Dom have to say you never turn your back on family?
Family.
9 movies in, we find out he has a brother that he turned his back on.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It makes no sense.
Which could be why he
thought
said
he
that.
ended up
Maybe
with
he's
the
always
land.
regretted it, and then that's why he
I
has
have
a new model.
All hope of those movies. I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw.
Dude, I did.
I heard it was okay.
The
But I
best
didn't
the
even
best
bother
part
watching.
about Hobbs and Shaw, I'm gonna be honest with
The
you,
helicopter?
was
When the
Kevin
credits
Hart as the air marshal. That scene was hilarious. And then
Yeah.
and then the Ryan Reynolds cameo, like that was
My boy Ryan Reynolds is in there.
yeah,
I
right. He's like the
completely
best
forgot
part.
about that.
And supposedly the next movie
Yeah.
is like him. He's like a main character. So
Ryan Reynolds?
yeah.
Okay.
They have a Hobbs and
I
Shaw
might have
2
to-
coming out because they made crazy money with it.
They
Like,
did.
Crazy money.
I mean, it was decent. The storyline was stupid. But it was
yeah.
the backstory of it with like the people who tried to recruit Shaw.
Yep.
And like I just want to know who that big bad villain is, but we'll see.
I just
yeah.
lost
I mean,
all hope when The Rock kicked the torpedo, and then everyone
Yeah.
surrounded Vin Diesel with their cars to stop him from turning into burnt bacon, and somehow fire
Yeah.
can't pass through cars or over or under them.
listen.
That was cool.
We will go over our Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, we could
We'll
talk
do a
about
tier
this.
list or something.
Yeah.
But the most ridiculous scene in any show ever, movie, was Vin Diesel surrounded by Lamborghinis, stopping an explosion from killing him. We audibly in the movie theater,
Busted out
we
laughing.
were like, throwing our hands up. Yeah, we were like, this did not just happen. We expected him to be frozen and just sitting there, like, we thought he'd be gone. But yeah. Anyway, so that's all I have for the movie news.
Spider-Man started filming in Atlanta officially.
Oh, yes,
Spider-Man
yes,
3.
yes, yes. That's why I wrote
Still
Spider-Man.
no the only confirmed casting was Jamie Foxx, which pissed off MCU because they didn't want anyone to know about that, but you know, it's confirmed. there's still those rumors that are unconfirmed but also not denied about Toby and Andrew. And a few other castings that I'm not going to mention to you guys that I don't know if you've kept up with it, but they're amazing, but I'm not
I
going to
have
say
not
anything.
seen, and I
Yeah.
don't want to know.
Okay, I don't want to be too presumptuous here. Atlanta has a large population of African
You
Americans.
stop that.
What? Hold up. They always film
There
in
it is.
Atlanta,
Do they?
LA, and New York is like the hot spots for filming
Yeah.
movies.
Because
So
all I want is a Miles Morales cameo in the actual canon live action movie. So I'm hoping.
What? He's looking at the camera.
you caught that? You caught that,
No,
Joey?
I want to know. I don't want to know.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna do
Dude,
this
give
on
me the
IMDb
camera.
real quick.
It's not gonna be on IMDb. No, it's not gonna.
Okay.
It's a secret
All right, that's
casting.
all I
Miles
want.
Morales,
All I'm gonna
though.
leave it at is a very secret casting.
That's all I want.
Apparently, Jamie Foxx, when he like posted pictures of he was coming back as Electro, he accidentally posted a picture of 3 Spider-Men standing in the distance, and apparently he deleted it after that.
That was no accident. That was no
Yeah,
accident.
but
It was
what I read.
It was a fan art, and he was just reposting
Yeah.
it. It wasn't like anything official or anything like that. So
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
The talks that I read, though, they fell through with Andrew and Toby. Like, last I heard, it wasn't like they didn't want to do it, which could be a solid cover-up. Or
Why wouldn't you want to
the
do
talks
that?
For
are
real.
over.
I'm sure they want to. Come on now.
Especially Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Personally,
see why not.
Which
I mean,
was
I wasn't crazy about the second one, but I feel like he got really gypped.
yeah, he did.
Like,
100%.
I feel like he definitely deserved more than he got.
He deserved the ending to Spider-Man 2 was good.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see that fight scene between him and Rhino,
we're
and
gonna
they
go
set up
over,
the whole Sinister Six. Like I wanted to see all that,
Yes.
I just didn't like how Rhino looked.
We're gonna go over that in the
I
next
just,
episode for
I'm
sure.
so upset about that.
Mhm.
Isn't he like robotic?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
he
all
had-
like
he had a
robots.
robotic
Like that?
suit. I don't know why.
It was all suits from Oscorp.
Yeah, not a fan of that.
But, okay.
Yeah.
And I've had this in my head for a long time, and I think I've talked about it with you guys too, where there's a lot of things that work perfectly on a comic book, in a cartoon, in a video game, but when you try to translate it
To
to
live
live
action.
action, it doesn't work. You will never see Galactus in his gigantic purple helmet
Satellite.
floating around.
Yeah.
It won't, and he's the
Yeah.
main villain, or one of the main villains, I should say, because Doctor Doom is the main villain of the Fantastic Four. But he's
Mhm.
like a huge one, and you're never gonna see him.
Galactus
the way-
is like the villain of Marvel. Like
Yeah.
who's touching him? Nobody. You know what I mean?
I
Like
think if any, I
So-
think the next Avengers will be against Galactus because they're
touching
believe
it-
They'll do another Avengers in another 8 to 10 years.
I mean, they're doing Eternals, which kind of sets that up. That whole like
Yeah.
huge being type universe type thing.
Silver
so-
Surfer. Silver Surfer.
Enter the X-Men.
So
That's next episode.
Ooh.
100%.
cool. But
Yeah.
just going back to what Darian had mentioned before with like Rhino being in a suit, I think that's like the easiest. I don't want to say cop out because it's not really that's being unfair, but that's the easiest way.
It's
for
an
them
origin
to
story.
translate.
Just yeah.
That's the easiest way for them to translate things from a comic book or
to a real world
Yeah, I
application.
get it.
Yeah.
because you can be like, oh, okay, yeah, so yeah, he might not be a half human, half rhinoceros hybrid, but it's a dude who is a criminal in a rhinoceros
Yeah.
suit. So that's one of the easiest ways to make it work without trying too hard and possibly risking it looking absolutely.
Let's see.
I mean, I get that, but they did it with Sandman in Spider-Man 3, and I loved him.
But that's not as hard.
And that it could work.
He's still a
What
dude.
about Venom?
Again, not as hard because he's like an alien type. It looks kind of like a xenomorph from Aliens with like the black.
So
and
what's
stuff like
Rhino's origin story?
That's a good question.
How did he become half rhino, half human?
Wasn't he like a scientist?
If you don't know,
and
then
he-
just
something.
look it up for next episode.
He
I don't know.
studied rhinoceri, and he got bitten by a
Don't
radioactive.
start with no. Come on, come on.
Impaled by a horn.
He was gored by a rhinoceros horn, and he turned into a half rhinoceros man. He went crazy.
But okay, but also the whole robotic thing, like in a suit, yes, it's an easy cop out, but it could also be a good one if you do it right. So
That's what I'm saying.
let's put in perspective. Let's go to the other Spider-Man. Let's go to was it Homecoming? Right? Vulture.
Phenomenal.
Amazing, and you know what? And they explained the
Oh,
suit.
you're right,
It
you're
was
right.
salvage parts from the Avengers fighting and the aliens, the Chitauri, all that stuff. So it made sense and it was good. You know what I mean? Because they also didn't make him this big bad villain. He was just a common criminal trying to just survive, and then
Trying to feed
he
his family.
trying to feed his family. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's what I'm
The
saying.
movie
So
was so good.
if you put the work into it and do it in a way that it's not like cheesy or just like they explain it away, but like, oh yeah, he stole a suit from Oscorp and now he's
that's
like
it.
the Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously if you do it that way, it's gonna suck. But if you put the work into it, if you make it like they did in like what Wiley said with Homecoming, that it'll pretty much work every time because it's easy
Yeah.
with technology, especially
that is a good point.
nowadays that we have, and with the movies being able to say, especially with Shield and stuff like that, having all this like crazy advanced technology, you can pretty much do whatever you want and make it work if you put the time into it.
If I may
That's true.
interject real quick. I just
No,
looked
you
it up.
can't.
2 points.
May
Okay,
not.
thank you.
So anyway, this is
Rhino. So Rhino, he's a Russian thug, and so the scientists put artificial skin on him, of rhino skin on him, which gave him the abilities to be super strong and all that. And so he
that
rebelled
works.
against them. Yeah.
Okay.
And
like
second,
that.
when Harry Osborn, the Amazing Spider-Man, the second movie, when Harry became Green Goblin, I understand your best friend just, I like that. That works. But, I mean, Harry Osborn is Green Goblin. I like him as Hobgoblin. Was it Norman Osborn supposed to be Green Goblin? I was like,
Give me Willem
that was
Dafoe
the only
back.
part that I was like,
Yeah, William Dafoe.
That's my Green Goblin.
I need William Dafoe as the Joker, bro.
dude,
Oh,
yes.
God.
Oh, his smile. His smile's
Just
so
put
weird.
him in more comic book roles as like a villain.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
definitely.
He's a phenomenal
he could
actor.
fit into a lot of
What was the last thing he did? Like the Lighthouse with Robert
the
Pattinson,
Lighthouse.
right?
I think
Yeah.
was the last. Yeah. But he's such a great.
Which, from what
actor.
I heard, is
He
like
can
some
do
type of like.
a lot.
Yeah, The Lighthouse is like some type of like New York artistic film with Robert Pattinson. that
It's
I'll
like
probably
a
watch.
it's like a
It's supposed to be really good.
it's a thriller horror movie type,
Or,
but like mental. It's not like
a psychological.
yeah, it's a psychological thriller. There we go. Which received
I
a lot
saw-
of praise. Like everyone,
Mhm.
every time someone talks about Robert Pattinson now, they refer to The Lighthouse instead of Twilight.
Yeah, The Lighthouse.
Which good point.
That's true.
He-
Well, he's
I
been
remember-
doing a lot of indie movies.
Yeah, I remember literally I saw an interview with him where he was like right after Twilight, he said he just wanted to do as many movies as possible in different roles so that nobody could like refer to he didn't want to be typecast as that character.
But he waited too long.
Well, he did a few, but
He did.
they didn't blow
did.
up.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of like Zac Efron.
That's true.
Hmm.
In Tenet, he was great in Tenet. Did a really freaking good job. I liked him a lot. And the end scene, Wiley, you know what I'm talking about? The very last scene with him in it was like,
That was super intense.
All right, Darren, we're gonna have to watch this movie somehow. Honestly, I'm
Dude.
getting sick of these guys
Seriously.
talking about it.
So, moviebox.com. So,
everyone listening,
So I
please
think,
visit that website.
No.
Also,
I
this
think we're running at what, 6 hours?
hour and 20. Hour and 20.
Jeez, man, already that was quick.
That's fine. First episode.
That's
We
solid,
make
yeah.
a super special first
That's
episode.
quick.
We do hour and a half. We also we have
Oh.
to put a
True.
spoiler warning at the beginning because we talked about
Oh,
Mando. If people.
Every episode is going to be a spoiler.
Yeah.
If
But-
you're coming here for spoiler free, this is not the place for you, my
Yeah.
friend.
You can skip around like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. if
Yeah.
you want.
Every single
But,
thing will be a spoiler.
Did you guys want to mention
Yeah,
the,
every movie we talk about.
the plans for future episodes with like guests and possible like games
Sure.
and what have you?
Absolutely.
Wait.
Since we're mentioning
so,
it, William Defoe's
um,
coming on next week.
Yeah. Did we want to do our
Celebrity interviews.
looking on the list here? Did we want to do our top 3 movies or whatever real quick? without getting too into it, or should we leave it for another time?
I was thinking about that.
I would not be able to tell you right
I was
now.
thinking
Yeah.
we saved that.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
That
well,
sounds
you
like
know
a
what?
good-
It was on the list and you should have prepared. That's on you. But I think we should have.
buddy.
No, I think we should save that for the beginning of another episode because we can really get into our favorite movies.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be some overlap between
I already
our
mentioned
top three.
mine.
Mine's been mentioned in this episode as well, so
Yeah.
we'll get into that. I think for some future episodes we'll be having some of our friends on. You know, obviously, you know, episode 1 isn't going to get crazy thousands and thousands of views. This is just we're doing it for fun.
We'll
at
get
the end of the
there.
day. Exactly, one day. So I think we want to have a few people on. We've already got some names that we've thrown out there. And if you like movies and you want to talk about this comics and Marvel and DC and Star Wars and that kind of stuff, let us know and we'll get you in here.
Joseph, I'm looking at you.
We'll get a
I didn't
sponsor
want to throw
soon.
out names, but you know, yeah, we got some sponsors soon.
We have if you wanted to plug the email and our Instagram too. The
He started
Lightpole.
off with email.
I'll plug the Instagram. You can follow us at
Our MySpace.
the Lightpole Podcast on Instagram, all one word. Also, if you want to ask us questions, send us any thoughts you have on it. You can send us to our email, which is thelightpolepodcast@gmail.com, or just DM us on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. So
Three of us are taken. One of us is still single.
I don't know why that.
Up to you to
that's
figure
a
out.
Yeah.
podcast about movies.
Taken? Let's let them know. I'm taken.
I am
Taken.
also taken.
Wow,
We
that
didn't
leaves
need to
one.
go into further
That leaves
detail.
one in the top left corner. Well, on my
Right,
camera,
right?
he's like right here.
Oh, it's awkward. We're putting him on the spot. All right.
All right. Anyway,
But yeah,
we have some-
if you have any movies that you really want us to go over, shows or something like that, popular ones.
Yeah.
We don't really watch too many of that like obscure indie kind of films. So
We'll
probably
keep this all PG. We'll
Yeah.
say that.
but
Definitely.
yeah, nothing
Crazy.
horror type stuff.
Yeah, no, we're not getting into that.
But yeah, if you wanted to recommend something along those lines, then you can DM us, ask us to talk about a certain show, or if you see that we're having, are we going to be letting them know ahead of time what like the next episodes are going to be about?
I mean, we could talk about it right
Um,
now, but kind of just a highlight
yeah.
of it.
There's
Yeah,
like
we've mentioned it a few times already throughout the episode. Yeah. And we're gonna be doing, you know, every few episodes we'll be doing different stuff. I think tier list would be a really cool thing to do. Kyler had mentioned, like trivia games and stuff like that, which I think would be awesome. For example, if we're doing Star Wars, like obviously
I will ask
maybe
the
Joe,
questions.
you could ask us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we're doing Marvel and DC, then I can ask you guys the questions,
True.
that kind of stuff.
If we're
So I think
doing
that'd be really cool.
if we're doing Fast and the Furious, I want to participate. I don't want to ask no questions.
I honestly,
is
I'll probably
I
ask
don't
the
want.
questions for that.
I don't even know.
I don't even know if I've seen every
Listen.
single Fast and Furious movie.
Listen,
I'm
these
not sure.
movies are getting
I
garbage,
have.
but the car culture is so instilled in my heart that I just can't let it go. You know what I mean? Like, I just, yeah.
They barely
it's not
even drive
car
cars
culture.
I
it's
know.
Familia.
I know, but still, like, it holds a special place in my heart. You feel me? You feel me? Yeah. Also, feel free to DM us
Exactly.
anything that we may have missed on an episode or on a topic that we were talking about. Let us know. We can always
Or
circle back to
correct
it.
us on
Or correct us,
anything.
fact check
Yeah.
us. Obviously, we won't get offended.
Nope.
So,
I'd
Darren,
love that.
you know.
Yeah, I already know where you were going with that one. But anyway, yeah, my DMs are not open. Actually, they are, but you know. So episode 2 is gonna be Marvel, DC, and Mandalorian episode 2 talk. We're gonna get into that. And after that, we'll be getting into some other stuff in the next episodes. I don't want to go too far ahead, but yeah, I think that's about everything for me.
And if you've gotten this far into the podcast, type in Daring Single in the comments.
You know what? If you did get this far into the podcast, type that in.
yeah,
'Cause
facts.
I don't think anyone's getting this far.
We
into the
appreciate
podcast.
that.
No,
We
of course
appreciate
not.
that.
Loyalty.
You loyal.
Well, that pretty much wraps things up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to our very first ever episode of the Lightpole. Thanks from me, Wiley. Thank you from Darian, Kyler, Joey. We really appreciate it, and we hope this is a long-lasting podcast. Like we mentioned, we have a few certain topics coming up in the next few weeks, so I hope you guys tune in again and enjoy.